Hey guys, John here. I've had my 2023 Toyota Tundra for about a week now, and I've been getting a lot of questions. Hey John, how is this compared to your 2022 SR5? Let me tell you guys my first impressions. So guys, at the end of the video, we will take a drive in the Tundra 2 to compare it to my SR5. Some of the things that I've kind of noticed within the last week of owning this thing, but we will start up front with what I've really noticed compared to my old Tundra, because I've gotten a lot of questions about quality stuff. So the front grille, like my old one, if I like really pushed on it, I would hear like a lot of plastic creaking. Don't really hear that in this one. And that really continues along with this whole truck. Like fit and finish, again, I'm gonna state this a lot in this video. I'm not sure if it's because it's a Platinum and it's just, you know, 2 trim levels higher than what my SR5 was, or if Toyota's just had a full year to just really do fit and finishes the right way. Because like when I shut my door and I pull on it, there's no like kind of creaks to it. Like it'll maybe pop once because it's just plastic and soft touch here. But my old SR5, when I would pull this sometimes, all of this here would be like pop, 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 like a little bit as you pull it in. But this does kind of do it a little bit, but not as bad at all. The seats, super comfortable. These compared to my Sequoia, I don't have that lumbar sound. As a lot of you guys said, it's a lumbar issue, so I don't have that in these seats. Center console, stupid solid. The only thing I dislike is this portion right here. When you close it, it is plastic on plastic, so it kind of moves around a little bit. If you have your arm here, it does make some wobble sounds. But aside from that, everything on the inside, thus far at least, is super solid at about 340 miles on the truck. The windows, they are not shaking. They are not making noise. No rattles, nothing. The only sound I have with the windows is if you have the shades up here in the back, and they're just hanging out up here and you're going over kind of like a bouncy thing, like they will make noise. But I mean, it's just a plastic shade up there, so I don't really fault Toyota on that at all. And then these tabs, they're just a tiny bit cheap, but that's the only sound that the windows make. I'll show you guys when I drive it. There's hardly any wind noise coming in this back area compared to my SR5. So interior so far in a week, I'll continue to update you guys, but seats are super comfortable. I already have stuff up under the storage here, utilizing it, right? Straps, got toolbox stuff over there on that side. What I do like about the power steps too is that if I shut this door, they don't go up immediately. I can still have time to open this one. So these steps from Toyota, they're not going like up and down, up and down, up and down all the time. One bad thing with the outside that did happen, guys, is, and I'm always straight up with you guys, is I popped open the tailgate and it was perfectly fine. I was putting some stuff back up in here to go to our Airbnb, and I'm not sure what the heck happened, but you could tell on this side, there's like no plastic rubber. Toyota doesn't put anything on this side, whereas over here you have like this plastic cap that goes around it. So this is Toyota's easy way for you if you need to take your tailgate off or anything. There's not a plastic cap here. A lot of people, they'll put like a hose clamp around here for tailgate theft. But what I'm getting at is I don't know what the heck happened. This was just off by a little bit, or however the tailgate was installed onto the truck. But I went to lift up the tailgate and this side over here was just off so slightly, and the freaking tailgate fell off. So the tailgate fell off and I was able to hold it. Over here was fine. Like this side, it closed perfectly fine, but this just unlatched itself a little bit. I was like, what the heck? So I caught it, thank God. So there's no scratches on this, but ever since I like reset it and like pushed it into here super hard, it's fine. So I don't know if that happened in transit or if people were messing with it at the port or something like that, but not that big of an issue. I mean, it is a big deal, but nothing was damaged. I went to the dealership to make sure everything was okay because I was already in the area, and everything checked out. We cycled the tailgate a couple times, so tailgate's solid. Speaking of solid tailgate, on my SR5, when I like would go like this with it, this whole piece of the tailgate would actually rattle. This tailgate, very solid. This upper valence piece for it, super solid. Over here, no real like sounds at all from the tailgate. My other Tundra, at the end of these tracks, these plastic things, they never wanted to stay in, but I can tell already that these are a bit more solid in this track system right here. I have noticed a funny thing too with the, I mean, this isn't Toyota, it's whoever sprayed in this bed liner, but you could tell the hooks right there, and over there, they bedlined it. The hooks over here and over here, they did not bedline. So that's messing with my OCD. And also too, I'm not sure why, but I know a lot of Tundras that get bedlined, they say Tundra right there in the composite bed, and my truck doesn't have that. So that's just something unique to point out. But tow mirrors, no issues with them. I like them on the truck versus the Sequoia. And then over here on the passenger side, no issues, nothing that my wife has complained about at all. She likes the seats. She likes the blockers too, the little shade blockers in the back. So let's go ahead and take a drive. So first, driving impressions, how is this truck compared to my SR5? Well, I really wish that I did a video of like how that truck was stock. I don't recall if I did, but this thing compared to my SR5 when it was done with the lift, the bigger tires, just everything about the truck, it looked awesome. But a stock Tundra, and I don't know if it's because this is a Platinum and it's a 2023 or what, but it's so plush. But the street tires on this, because they're not like crazy aggressive at all, it makes for a very comfortable ride. Now I have about 340 miles on this now, and I've averaged 17.1 miles per gallon. Not good at all. Truck is still definitely getting broken in. Every time I stop it after a longer kind of drive, you can still smell the metal and the plastics and everything just working its way into itself. But we did go on a long drive the other day, probably about close to 100 miles or so, and we did do some highway driving, so 75 to 80 miles an hour, and it was pretty decent inside. The wind noise on this truck, not the best, but definitely not horrible at all like my SR5 was. I have no crazy sound coming from the back windows back there like I did on my SR5. And really, I mean, take a listen for yourselves. And this is just standard iPhone camera, how it picks it up driving. I think that was like 75 to 77 miles an hour across a bridge too in Pensacola, Florida. And it was not the like calmest of day. It was actually pretty windy that day for sure. So, but the truck itself, pretty solid. Like I had mentioned, very quiet for the most part on the inside. Going over bumps like this, it's a truck, right? It's not a crazy car. Hold on, we're getting up to speed. Hold off on the JBL sound system, because that's what you get with this truck, is the augmented sound that comes in. Now, this compared to our TRD Pro Sequoia or even a TRD Pro Tundra, very tame actually. In previous videos with my SR5, I liked to talk about the kind of throatiness of this 3.4 liter V6. Like, it has kind of like just a raspy sound. It's not a V8, I know, let me know in the comments, I don't really give a crap, but it has like this kind of just throaty little bit of sound, and that's how this augmented sound that Toyota for some reason pumps in on a truck, it actually sounds pretty decent. I actually really do enjoy this sound of this augmented engine sound that Toyota does for this truck. At low RPMs like this, like just getting up to speed, it's not really there, but it's there when you just punch the truck and then the speakers kind of kick in with everything else. But it sounds really good. I thought I was gonna do the Carista thing and get rid of like the fake noise, but it actually sounds pretty decent. I get to hear turbo noise. We're gonna hear turbo noise more in the future. But let's talk about the JBL sound system. I kind of enjoy it on this truck. It's not like the best sounding sound system, but it's definitely a lot better than what my SR5 Tundra had. And the crappy thing about it, and I don't know why Toyota just can't freaking fix this in 2 years, but the moment you turn it up like past 7 or 8, like on the dial, if you have a very bassy song that you're trying to listen to, the door cards just like they just have this bad vibrate to them that every single time, and it's literally everyone that turns up the sound system in these trucks. I don't know what crappy plastics like they're using to hold these door cards together, but the moment you turn something up and just try to listen to it, like you want to hear the JBL subwoofer hit, right? Like you want to hear the treble, you want to hear everything in a song, right? You paid for the JBL sound system, you want to hear it, and crap in the door cards on both sides in the front, just something just rattles a little bit. It's not the end of the world, right? I can open up the doors, put sound deadening in it, but you would think you would think that that would all be taken care of. At least 2 years of this truck being out and people complaining about it. But aside from those little bit of things, this truck has been an absolute pleasure the last week to drive. Going on freshly paved roads like this with the 6.5 foot bed, this truck has been super comfortable. Back in the day, we had a, well, my brother actually still has it, but Duramax diesel. Granted, it's a heavy duty truck, but the longer beds that you get with trucks, it was a 4-door, 8-foot bed diesel truck. Your bed wants to bounce just a little bit because you have so like much rear end with hardly anything there to like just weigh it down. So this truck bounces a little bit more than my SR5, but it is nowhere near uncomfortable at all. Like, I could definitely see ourselves and the dogs taking this on another cross-country road trip, taking us down to Tampa or whatever, or just wherever this truck takes us in the next 2-3 years. But so we accelerated up to 45, and I'm just gonna hit it real quick, but so like I eased into it and like wanted to shift because this truck's still trying to figure me out, but you could hear that augmented sound like and it gets a little bit louder. First impressions of a week. We'll see obviously how this truck, you know, wears in itself in time, but first impressions of a week, super solid, man. It's been a great first week with this truck, and it has been doing its purpose of a truck and what we bought it for some real estate stuff, and also here on YouTube showing you guys the good and the bad. Really the only bad thing that happened, tailgate fell off. Super weird, super just random thing, but it has been super solid after the fact, and everything else with the truck seems to be breaking in nicely. Hopefully the miles per gallon will get up a little bit higher into the 19s, 20s, which my last truck was before we lifted it and stuff, and we do have some lift options coming for this, bigger tires, all that other stuff, but I like to enjoy vehicles stock for a while to get a good feeling of them, and then we start to mod them. So tons more coming with this truck, guys. Good, bad, ugly, whatever happens, I will let you guys know, and I will catch you all in the next one. All right, see you later.